1. BrahMos test fired from new warship. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 3. Science and Technology and its application in the field of defense. Why recently in news? India's supersonic cruise missile BrahMos demonstrated its prowess yet again, when it was test-fired on Sunday from the country's newest stealth destroyer INS Kochi off the west coast. Launch of BrahMos was part of an acceptance testing firing during a naval drill being conducted on the west coast. About INS Kochi. INS Kochi is the second ship of the Kolkata-class destroyers built for the Indian Navy. She was constructed at Mazagon Dock Limited, MDL, located in Mumbai. After undergoing extensive sea trials, she was commissioned to Indian Navy service on the 30th of September 2015. INS Kochi has been built under the code name of Project 15 Alpha. On the 1st of November 2015, the Navy successfully test-fired the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile from Kochi. The missile hit its target, a decommissioned ship called INS Alleppey, with almost pinpoint accuracy during this first-ever vertical launch from the 7,500-ton INS Kochi. About BrahMos. The BrahMos is a short-range ramjet supersonic missile that can be launched from submarines, ships, aircraft or land. It is a joint venture between the Russian Federation's NPO Mashinostroyenia and India's Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, who have together formed BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited. It is based on the Russian P-800 Onyx cruise missile and other similar sea-skimming Russian cruise missile technology. The name BrahMos is formed from the names of two rivers, the Brahmaputra of India and the Moskva of Russia. 2. Animals caught in the headlights. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 3. Environmental Conservation and Mitigation Strategy. What's the critical issue? Policy is silent on a critical issue, that of highway stretches passing through forests, particularly our sanctuaries and national parks. Speeding vehicles plying on these roads cause the deaths of thousands of animals, large and small, every year. A study in 2010 reported that 1,035 road kills of wildlife recorded in 430 days on a 9.2 kilometers stretch of NH7 passes through the Pench Tiger Reserve. Highway stretches passing through forests cause severe fragmentation of habitats. Recommendations for bypassing forests, way forward. A subcommittee constituted in 2013 reiterated the recommendation in the National Wildlife Action Plan 2002-2016. Ministry of Surface Transport must plan roads, highways and expressways in such a manner that all national parks and sanctuaries are bypassed and wildlife corridors avoided. If smart cities comes to reality, then why not smart highways? For existing highways through forests, bypasses need to retrofit with state-of-the-art, science-based solutions for minimizing road kills. Carefully conceived underpasses, overpasses, flyovers and canopy bridges, taking animal behavior and traditional wildlife movement patterns into consideration. Lessons from models around world. On Trans-Canada Highway passing through Banff National Park, where an 80% reduction deaths reportedly been achieved by an extensive system of wildlife underpasses and overpasses. With many developed countries having already shown the way, we have no excuse to lag behind. Supreme Court caution. Recall a significant observation made by the SC, held that our approach to development should be eco-centric, rather than focusing only on what is good for humans. 3. India to emerge as largest cotton producer. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 3. Indian economy and status of Indian agriculture. Why recently in news? Trade estimates suggest that the production will be around 400 lakh bales of 170 kilograms each, taking India to the first position. China has had to vacate its place as the largest producer of cotton to India. Cotton production in China and the US has been estimated to be lower by 13.3% and 17.7% respectively. It anticipated yield to come down to 524 kilograms per hectare, lower than the previous yield of 527 kilograms per hectare. Because of deficient rains in the later half of the monsoon season and instances of pest presence in Gujarat and Punjab, India's cotton processing sector gradually declined during British expansion in India and the establishment of colonial rule during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. This was largely due to aggressive colonialist mercantile policies of the British East India Company, which made cotton processing and manufacturing workshops in India uncompetitive. Indian markets were increasingly forced to supply only raw cotton and were forced, by British-imposed law, to purchase manufactured textiles from Britain. By the 1840s, India was no longer capable of supplying the vast quantities of cotton fibers needed by mechanized British factories, while shipping bulky, low-price cotton from India to Britain was time-consuming and expensive. This, coupled with the emergence of American cotton as a superior type, encouraged British traders to purchase cotton from plantations in the United States and plantations in the Caribbean. 4. Five-member panel mooted for deciding on monetary policy. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 2. Government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. Why recently in news? Abandoning their original position on the proposed amendments to the RBI Act, both RBI and Union Finance Ministry have arrived at a midway position. What's proposed? The Finance Ministry has proposed a five-member Monetary Policy Committee which will have the responsibility of deciding India's monetary policy, including the decision on interest rates. Current scenario. At present, the governor is advised by a technical committee but can veto decisions, being singularly responsible for monetary policy. Composition of the newly proposed committee. The government will nominate 2 members. RBI will nominate 1 expert, besides 2 of its officials. The deputy governor and the executive director dealing with monetary policy. Voting powers of members. Each of the 5 members would have 1 vote and the RBI governor, chair of the committee, will have a casting vote in the event of a tie in situations such as the absence of a member. Background. A draft of the Indian Financial Code that the ministry had posted on its website in July proposed to strip the governor of veto vote on the monetary policy. The draft proposed a 6-member monetary policy committee, besides powers for the government to appoint 4 of the 6 members. The proposal had drawn sharp criticism, including from the former RBI governors. RBI was also unhappy over the proposed amendments to the RBI Act that Finance Minister Arun Jaitley had announced in his budget speech. Realizing the RBI's opposition, the Finance Minister had dropped the proposed amendments from the Finance Bill. It should however be noted that the inflation target for the RBI in each financial year will be determined by the government in consultation with the RBI itself.